Tides Canada is a registered charity and nonprofit society that's funded by lots of progressive foundations and billionaires like George Soros that fund causes for political gain. Tides spends millions of dollars to campaign against Canadian oil and gas pipelines, and they've also campaigned to block oil export to Asia. It seems to be working too. Canada is missing out on the Asian LNG market, while countries like Australia and the United States rush infrastructure projects in order to fill the gaps. And Vancouver Mayor Gregor Robertson is in on it all. Actually, he was once the director of Tides Canada and even founded and chairs Happy Planet, an organic food and smoothie outfit run by a network of Tides Canada charities. Hollyhock, an activist training center in which Tides is the main funder, once pledged to vote for Vision Vancouver, the municipal party that Robertson belongs to. There were even questions raised about breaking Canada Revenue Agency's rules, which state that charities can't take part in partisan political activity. And it looks like Robertson, through Vision Vancouver, is using the tactics that he learned and probably helped to develop while working with Tides to target Kinder Morgan with citizen tax dollars. Sounds unbelievable, right? Here, check out the website notworththerisk.ca, hosted by the City of Vancouver, that urges people to contact the federal government about the scary implications of the Trans Mountain Pipeline project. And here's the mayor vocally opposing the project in a video embedded on the site.
I am outraged today that the National Energy Board did not reject the Kinder Morgan pipeline proposal with a definitive no. Kinder Morgan's pipeline is a bad deal for Vancouver's environment and our economy. It puts our coast at enormous risk with 7 times the number of oil tankers transiting our harbor every year.
He hit all the high notes for the activist crowd, didn't he? Let's fact check Mayor Robertson though, shall we? First, he said that Trans Mountain won't benefit the economy. I guess benefits are relative to the mayor. During the development and over the first 20 years, the project will generate almost $48 billion in taxes and royalties. Workers will put almost $480 million into the BC economy during construction, and property tax revenues will increase by over $23 million annually, just in Vancouver alone. And as for the environment, Canada contributes 1.6% to global greenhouse gas emissions, with the oil sands making up only 0.1% of that total. Hardly catastrophic, as Robertson suggests, especially when using global emissions as a comparison. Pipelines are like highways for the transport of hydrocarbons, which is the way they should be viewed. Does the government do calculation for GHGs when a highway is built? I see several highway infrastructure projects underway in BC, so where's the outrage from Mayor Robertson? Another thing that the mayor seems to avoid is the fact that 89% of the project is already built. Kinder Morgan just wants to add a twin pipeline beside the existing route in most places. And there's never been a spill since the start of operation in 1953. And I know 7 times an increase in tankers sounds scary, but the increase is from 5 to 34 per month, and tanker spills have both decreased in number and size since the 1970s. And since the 1930s, there have been just 5 notable spills in Canada, the largest occurring in 1970. I'm not saying spills aren't bad, but sometimes we have to weigh the risks against the benefits when we have such a reliance on a product that has changed our lives for the better. Whether the green crowd like it or not, the world market demands cheap hydrocarbons, and they do contribute to our quality of life. These are facts. The bottom line is that pipelines and tanker transport are much safer than rail transport, where there's a risk of death from explosion. The real destruction would occur if we just wiped out the use of oil for maybes, possiblies, and could-bes. There's a new trend where anti-oil activists have newfound roles as politicians and political advisors. I told you about Catherine McKenna stacking the National Energy Board review panel with anti-oil appointees. Rachel Notley stacked her climate change and oil sands panels with anti-oil members, and now Vancouver's own mayor is using taxpayer dollars to fight against the Trans Mountain Pipeline. Effectively, we have 3 levels of government now fighting against Canada's oil and gas industry and Canadian prosperity. When it comes down to it, Mayor Gregor Robertson is just another activist. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.